The Great American Blender, a study in culinary metaphors. The United States of America. We like to call ourselves a melting pot, which is a delightful culinary metaphor suggesting that we all jump into a giant cast iron cauldron, boil away our distinct flavors, and eventually congeal into a uniform beige fondue of democracy. It's a romantic notion, really. The idea that you can arrive on these shores with centuries of rich tradition and within a generation, trade it all in for the inalienable right to complain about the Wi-Fi speed at a Starbucks. This is the heart of the debate between integration and assimilation. Do we want to be a soup, or do we just want to be processed cheese? To understand this cultural tug-of-war, one must first look at the concept of assimilation, or as I like to call it, the Borg Method. Resistance is futile. You will be absorbed. Assimilation is the unspoken demand that immigrants check their heritage at the door, preferably near the Statue of Liberty's gift shop. The goal here isn't harmony. It's uncomfortably aggressive sameness. It's the societal equivalent of an HOA meeting where everyone agrees that painting your house any color other than eggshell white is an act of domestic terrorism. The first step in assimilation is usually the Starbucks test. If a barista can't pronounce your name without a puzzled squint, you are expected to change it. A glorious historical name like Thaddeus or Xochitl is swiftly bulldozed into a Ted or a Sue for the sake of efficiency during the morning rush. We love diversity, of course, but not if it holds up the line for a pumpkin spice latte. Assimilation asks you to strip away the vowels until you fit neatly onto a name tag. Then there is the matter of language. Assimilationists believe that English is not just a language, but a moral imperative. It doesn't matter that English itself is 3 raccoons in a trench coat masquerading as a language, stealing words from Latin, German, and French. The assimilated American is expected to speak only one language, loud and slow, to anyone who looks vaguely interesting. The ultimate victory of assimilation is when the grandchildren of immigrants can no longer speak to their grandparents, but can fluently quote every season of The Office. Clothing is another battlefield. To truly assimilate, one must adopt the suburban uniform. We're talking cargo shorts, branded polo shirts, and footwear that values orthopedic support over aesthetic dignity. Cultural assimilation is complete when you look in the mirror and realize you have dressed exactly like a mannequin at a mid-range department store. You haven't just joined a country, you've joined a target demographic for lawn care commercials. However, not everyone loves the melting pot. Enter the rival philosophy, integration. If assimilation is a blender set to puree, integration is a salad bowl. In this metaphor, the lettuce, the tomatoes, and the cucumbers all hang out in the same bowl, covered in the same dressing, the Constitution. But they don't turn into a smoothie. They stay distinct. It sounds healthier, mainly because it involves vegetables. But let's be honest, eating a salad is much more work than drinking a soup. Integration is the polite dinner guest of sociology. It suggests that you can keep your cultural identity and participate in the American experiment. You can wear a sari to the PTA meeting, provided you still bring store-bought cookies like everyone else. It's the hyphenated American dream. You aren't just one thing. You are a complex Venn diagram of heritage and current address. It's a beautiful concept, though it confuses the Census Bureau to no end. The problem with the salad bowl theory is that Americans have a very selective appetite. We love integration when it comes to the food court. We are perfectly happy to integrate tacos, sushi, and falafel into our weekly rotation. In fact, we will vigorously defend the authenticity of a dim sum place we found on Yelp while mispronouncing every item on the menu. We want the culture, but we'd prefer it came with free delivery and mild salsa. This leads to the phenomenon of holiday integration. This is where the dominant culture adopts a specific day to celebrate a minority culture, usually by drinking irresponsibly. We have turned St. Patrick's Day and Cinco de Mayo into identical events, distinguished only by the color of the food dye in the beer. This isn't true integration. It's just cultural tourism with a hangover. We borrow the party, but we usually forget to invite the history. True integration is messy because it requires actual conversation. It requires the old guard to accept that the definition of American is fluid. This terrifies people. who believe the 1950s was a documentary and not just a very rigid sitcom. When you integrate, you might have to learn to press two for Spanish without feeling like your personal liberty is under siege. It demands a level of flexibility that, frankly, most of us haven't stretched for. The clash between these two ideals, the melting pot versus the salad bowl, creates the awkward tension of modern American life. We tell immigrants to be themselves, but then we whisper, but not too much. We want the exoticism of the salad, but the convenience of the soup. It's like saying we want a spicy curry, but could you please make it taste exactly like mac and cheese? Corporate America loves to play both sides. They preach diversity and integration in their HR manuals, celebrating the rich tapestry of their workforce. Meanwhile, they enforce a dress code in a corporate culture that is so assimilated it borders on robotic. You are free to be unique, as long as your uniqueness fits into a cubicle and doesn't upset the quarterly earnings call. It is inclusion by way of exclusion. Perhaps the greatest irony is that while we argue about immigrants assimilating, the natives are busy assimilating into the internet. We are less defined by our ethnic heritage today than by which algorithm feeds us our news. We have integrated into digital tribes where the only culture war that matters is Android versus iPhone. We are worried about people losing their heritage while we willingly upload our personalities to the cloud. So where does that leave us? Somewhere between a rock and a hard taco shell. The reality is that the United States is neither a perfect melting pot nor a pristine salad bowl. It's more like a potluck dinner where half the people didn't RSVP. Someone brought a dish that smells weird but tastes great, and two uncles are arguing about politics in the kitchen. It is chaotic, occasionally unappetizing, but undeniably full. In the end, whether you assimilate or integrate, the result is uniquely American. You will eventually pay taxes, complain about the government, and wonder why healthcare is so expensive. And really, isn't that the true badge of citizenship? We may argue about how much of our old selves to keep, but the moment we bond over our collective anxiety and caffeine addiction, we know we have truly arrived.